I pulled into my childhood driveway that Thanksgiving morning, pumpkin pie still warm on the passenger seat. 3 months since I'd been home. My father opened the door before I could knock, and his face held no warmth. "We don't have a daughter," he said, voice flat as pavement. Behind him, my brother Tyler grinned, my old bedroom key dangling from his finger like a trophy. My mother wouldn't even look at me. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I pulled out my phone, dialed my bank, and said 4 words that would change everything. "Freeze the account." My finger hovered over the call button as I stood on that porch, watching my father's expression shift from cold dismissal to something like confusion. Tyler's smile faltered just slightly. The phone rang twice before a customer service representative answered. "First National Bank. This is Stephanie speaking. How may I help you?" I kept my eyes locked on my father's face. "This is Lauren Hayes. Account number 7739421. I need to freeze all transactions on the joint mortgage account immediately." My father's mouth opened. Tyler stepped forward, no longer smiling. "Ma'am, I'll need to verify your identity first," the representative said. I rattled off my social security number, my mother's maiden name, the street I grew up on, all while standing 3 feet from the people who were supposed to love me most in this world. "1 moment, please," the representative said. Tyler grabbed my father's arm. "Dad, don't let her do this. She's trying to steal the house." The irony would have been funny if my heart wasn't hammering against my ribs. 4 years. 48 months of $1,700 payments. Every single month since the day my father's restaurant dream collapsed and took their savings with it. Every month since the bank threatened foreclosure and I stepped in, refinanced everything under a joint account so they could stay in this house. My mother finally spoke from somewhere inside the house. Her voice sounded hollow. "Tyler told us everything." I watched her appear behind my father, her face drawn and aged in a way I didn't remember. When had she gotten so many lines around her mouth? "Everything about what?" I asked. My father's jaw tightened. "We know what you did. How you've been stealing from us." The words hit like a physical blow. "Stealing from you?" Tyler emerged fully now, shoulders back, confident in a way he'd never been when we were kids. He'd always been the charmer, the one who could talk his way out of trouble while I studied late and worked 2 jobs through college. Now he was 28 and looked at me like I was something he'd scraped off his shoe. "Don't play innocent," he said. He pulled out his phone, tapped it a few times, then turned it to show our parents. I showed them the bank statements. "We know you've been withdrawing thousands for yourself." I felt the ground shift beneath me. "That's not true, Miss Hayes." The bank representative was back on the line. "I've frozen the account as requested. No transactions can be processed without your direct authorization." "Thank you," I managed, my voice steady even though my hands were shaking. Tyler's confidence never wavered. "You can freeze it all you want. They already know the truth. Tell her, Dad." My father looked at me with something worse than anger. Disappointment. "We spoke to a lawyer yesterday. You're no longer authorized on any of our accounts. We've removed you from everything." The pumpkin pie was getting cold on the passenger seat of my car. I'd driven 4 hours, left Boston at 5 in the morning to get here early, help with cooking like I did every year. I'd even bought the fancy organic pumpkin from that overpriced market my mother loved. "I need to see what he showed you," I said. Tyler produced a folder from behind his back, like he'd been waiting for this moment. Inside were printed bank statements. I recognized the account numbers, but the transactions were wrong. Withdrawals I'd never made. Thousands of dollars, each one marked with my name. "These are fake," I said, but even I could hear how weak it sounded. "That's what a thief would say," Tyler replied. He turned to our parents. "I told you she'd do this. I told you she'd try to manipulate you." I looked at my mother. "Mom, please. You know me. Do you really think I would steal from you?" She wouldn't meet my eyes. "The statements don't lie, Lauren." "But Tyler could have," I said, my voice rising. "Did you verify any of this? Did you call the bank yourselves?" My father stepped forward. "We don't need to. Tyler's been here. He's been taking care of us." "Where were you?" "I was working," I said. "Working to pay your mortgage. Working to keep this roof over your heads. To control us," Tyler interjected smoothly. "To hold it over their heads. To make them dependent on you so you could do whatever you wanted." I stared at him. This was calculated. Every word, every move. He'd planned this. Show me the paperwork, I demanded. Show me what you signed to remove me from the accounts. Tyler's smile returned. From another folder, he produced more documents. I scanned them quickly, my legal knowledge from years of reviewing client contracts kicking in. The house deed, transfer of title, our parents' names, and Tyler's. Not mine. When did you sign these? I asked my parents. Yesterday, my father said. Tyler's lawyer came by. Everything's proper. His lawyer? I looked at Tyler. You don't have a lawyer. You don't have a job. I have both now, Tyler said. Someone has to protect them from you. My phone buzzed. A text from my property manager in Boston. Pipes burst in unit. Water everywhere. Need you to call as soon as possible. Another buzz. Voicemail notification. I pulled up my recent calls. 17 missed calls from my mortgage company over the past 2 days. How had I missed those? The pieces started clicking into place. 2 weeks ago, I'd gotten an email that looked like spam, something about a transfer request on the mortgage account. I'd deleted it without thinking. Buried under a major project at work. You've been in my email, I said to Tyler. He laughed. You always were paranoid. Muffin, I said. You guessed my password, our childhood dog. His expression flickered for just a second. Confirmation. Neighbors were gathering now. Mrs. Patterson from next door, always nosy, always watching. The Johnsons from across the street. This was entertainment for them, a family drama on Thanksgiving morning. Tyler raised his voice, making sure everyone could hear. I'm asking you to leave peacefully. My parents don't want you here. You've stolen enough from them. I haven't stolen anything, I said, but I was talking to an audience now, and audiences believe what they see. What they saw was a daughter being turned away by her parents, a brother protecting them. My father moved closer to the door. If you don't leave, I'll call the police. My mother handed me an envelope. Inside was a legal letter. Cease and desist. No contact. Signed by a lawyer whose name I didn't recognize. This is insane, I said. This is justice, Tyler replied. I looked at each of them one more time. My father's hard face, my mother's averted eyes. Tyler's triumphant smile. Then I turned and walked to my car. My legs felt like they belonged to someone else. My hands fumbled with the door handle. As I opened the car door, I glanced back. Tyler was at my old bedroom window, the one that overlooked the driveway. He held up his phone. Recording. Capturing my humiliation. I drove away with the pumpkin pie still on the passenger seat, going nowhere. My vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall until I was 5 blocks away. The diner smelled like burnt coffee and grease, exactly what diners are supposed to smell like. I sat in a corner booth, hands wrapped around a mug I couldn't drink from, and started making calls. Amanda picked up on the second ring. Lauren? I thought you were at Thanksgiving dinner. I need you to meet me, I said. Now, I'll explain when you get here. She heard something in my voice because she didn't ask questions. Give me the address. While I waited, I went through my emails with a sick feeling in my stomach. The transfer request from 3 weeks ago, the one I'd thought was spam. I found it in my deleted folder. It looked official because it was official. A request to change the primary account holder on the mortgage refinancing. It required my approval, which I'd never given. But somehow it had been processed anyway. I kept scrolling. More emails, all automatically deleted. Notifications about changes to the account. Requests for verification. All of them intercepted. All of them erased. Tyler had been in my email for months, maybe longer, systematically removing anything that would alert me to what he was doing. My phone buzzed again. My boss, Jerome. Lauren, we need to talk about the Henderson account. My stomach dropped. What about it? Someone sent an anonymous email to Richard Henderson, claiming you've been involved in family financial fraud. He called me this morning. He's concerned. The Henderson account was my biggest client, $200,000 in annual fees. I'd spent 2 years building that relationship. It's not true, I said. Jerome, I swear it's not true. I believe you, he said, but his voice held doubt. But he's asking for documentation. He wants to verify that you're not under investigation. I'm not under investigation. My brother is lying about me to my parents. He's trying to take their house. Silence on the other end. Then, this sounds complicated. It is, but it's not what he's claiming. I can prove it. Okay, Jerome said slowly. Get me proof by Monday. And Lauren? The water damage at your condo. I got a call from building management. They need you back in Boston immediately. I hung up and put my head in my hands. Amanda arrived 20 minutes later. She was still in her pajamas under her coat, hair in a messy bun. That's what good friends do. They show up. I told her everything. She listened. The deed transfer looks legal, she said after a long moment. Your parents signed willingly. I can see the notary stamp. Tyler forged something. He had to have. Amanda pointed to the signature. This looks legitimate, but I'm not a handwriting expert. We'd need to hire an analyst, and that costs money. How much? A few thousand. Maybe more if we need them to testify. I thought about my savings. Substantial, but not infinite. Legal fees, handwriting analysts, the burst pipe in my condo, the lawsuit from my downstairs neighbor that I knew was coming. The math started adding up in my head, and it wasn't good. Even if it's fraud, Amanda continued, proving it means accusing your parents of being incompetent or victims. They'll have to testify against Tyler. Will they? I remembered my mother's face. The way she wouldn't look at me. No, I said. They won't. Amanda's expression softened. I'm sorry. This is awful. My phone rang again. The property manager. Lauren, it's worse than I thought. The water damaged Miss Walsh's unit below you. She's talking about suing. Patricia Walsh. 72 years old. Widowed. Lived in that condo for 20 years. She'd always been kind to me. Baked cookies at Christmas. How bad? Her ceiling collapsed. Ruined her furniture, her carpet. She's looking at tens of thousands in damages. My insurance will cover it, I said. She called your insurance company. They're saying you missed a premium payment last month. Your policy lapsed. That wasn't possible. I had it on autopay. Except I remembered getting a notification about a failed payment. I'd been in meetings all day, forgot to follow up. By the time I remembered, I'd assumed it had processed. They denied the claim? I asked, already knowing the answer. Completely. Lauren, you need to get back here. Miss Walsh is filing a lawsuit. I hung up. Amanda was watching me with concern. My life is falling apart, I said. No, she replied firmly. Your brother is trying to destroy your life. There's a difference. We fight back, but fighting required money I was running out of, and energy I didn't have. Still, I nodded. What else could I do? Over the next few days, Amanda started digging. She found Tyler's record from 5 years ago. Petty theft, expunged from his official record but still traceable if you knew where to look. He'd stolen from an employer, got caught, took a plea deal. This could help discredit him, Amanda said. I made a mistake then, a big one. I posted about it on social media vaguely, trying to warn people. Be careful who you trust. People with histories of theft don't change. I didn't name Tyler. I didn't have to. Within 2 hours, someone connected the dots and shared it. Within 4 hours, Tyler's response video went viral. He sat in my parents' kitchen, my mother's arm around him, both of them crying. Real tears, or maybe just really good acting. My sister is trying to ruin my life, he said to the camera, voice breaking. I protected our parents from her financial abuse, and now she's attacking me. She's digging up things from my past, things I'm not proud of but that I've moved beyond. She's trying to destroy me because I stopped her from stealing. The comments flooded in. Thousands of them. She sounds like a narcissist. Abusers always play the victim. I hope those parents stay strong. Someone identified my company. Suddenly, our business page was flooded with negative reviews. Employs thieves. Can't trust them with your money. Frauds. Jerome called me that night. Lauren, this is getting out of control. I know. I'm trying to fix it. Fix it fast. We're getting calls. Clients are nervous. I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, I will. But I didn't know how. Every move I made to defend myself seemed to make things worse. Tyler had positioned himself as the victim so perfectly that the truth looked like lies, and my lies looked like truth. Boston greeted me with freezing rain and a condo that looked like a disaster movie. The ceiling in my bedroom had collapsed. Water stains spread across the walls like dark flowers. My furniture was ruined. The smell of mold already hung in the air. Patricia Walsh met me in the hallway, her face tight with anger. "You did this," she said. "My home is destroyed because of your negligence." "Patricia, I'm so sorry. I'll make this right." "You better. My lawyer says I have a strong case." She handed me papers. Official lawsuit. $50,000 in damages. Court date in 6 weeks. I called my insurance company again, hoping for a different answer. I didn't get one. Policy lapsed. Claim denied. I was on my own. The contractor I hired gave me an estimate. $30,000 to fix the water damage, replace the ceiling, remediate the mold. I had the money in savings, but between the legal fees for Amanda, the lawsuit from Patricia, and everything else, I was watching my financial cushion disappear. I still needed the Henderson account. I needed my job. But when I called Richard Henderson, his assistant told me he was in meetings. When I emailed, I got an automated response. He was ghosting me. Finally, he agreed to meet. We sat in his office, glass walls overlooking downtown Boston, everything clean and professional and far removed from the chaos of my life. "Lauren," he said, and I heard the finality in his voice. "My wife saw that video your brother posted. She's very active in elder abuse prevention. She's insisting we can't work with someone who would steal from their own parents." "I didn't steal from them," I said. I showed him my bank records. Proof of every mortgage payment I'd made over 4 years. He studied them. "These could be fabricated." "They're not. Call the bank. Verify them yourself." "I've already made my decision," he said. "We're moving to Whitmore Financial." "I'm sorry, but I have to think about our reputation." $200,000 in annual fees. Gone. Just like that. Jerome called me into his office the next day. "We need to put you on temporary leave." "You're firing me?" "Not firing. Leave. Unpaid. Until this gets sorted out." "Jerome, I need this job. I need the income." "I know, and I'm sorry, but 3 other clients have expressed concerns. I can't risk the company's reputation. Get this resolved. Come back with proof you're in the clear, and we'll talk." I walked out of that office feeling hollow. No job, lawsuit pending, family destroyed, reputation in ruins, and Tyler was winning. The certified letter arrived at my condo 2 days later. My parents were suing me for $30,000. The amount Tyler claimed I'd embezzled. The lawsuit included a request for a restraining order. The court date was in 2 weeks. If I lost, I could face criminal charges. Elder financial abuse carried serious penalties in Massachusetts. Prison time. A record that would destroy any chance of rebuilding my career. I hired a private investigator named Gary. He cost $5,000 up front. I emptied my emergency fund to pay him. "Find me something on Tyler," I said. "Anything that proves he's lying." Gary was in his 50s, former cop, weathered face and sharp eyes. "I'll do my best." He started digging. Tyler had been unemployed for 8 months. Not 6, like he'd told our parents. He had gambling debts with several people around town. He'd borrowed money from friends and never paid it back. But none of it proved document fraud. None of it proved he'd forged bank statements or manipulated the deed transfer. I went to the grocery store to clear my head, to feel normal for 5 minutes. That's where I ran into Aunt Susan. She saw me, and her face hardened. "I can't believe you." "Aunt Susan, please listen. We all know what you did. Tyler showed us at dinner last Sunday. The whole family." My heart sank. Last Sunday. That was the Thanksgiving gathering I was supposed to attend. The big family dinner with 20+ relatives. All of them gathered while Tyler presented his case against me. "He's lying," I said. "He showed us proof. Bank statements. Legal documents. You stole from your own parents, Lauren. After everything they did for you." "They didn't do anything for me," I snapped, anger finally breaking through. "I put myself through college. I worked 2 jobs while Tyler partied. I've been supporting them for 4 years while he did nothing." Susan's expression turned cold. "That's not what Tyler said. And your grandmother is heartbroken. She's 87 years old. This stress could kill her. She walked away, leaving me standing in the produce section, shaking. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in my damaged bedroom, staring at the temporary tarp covering the ceiling hole, and thought about giving up. About settling. Admitting fault I didn't have just to make it stop. But that would mean Tyler won. That would mean admitting I was the person he'd convinced everyone I was. I thought about my grandmother. 87 years old, heartbroken. I'd always been her favorite. She used to tell me I was the strong one. The one who'd make something of myself. Did she believe Tyler's lies too? The court date loomed. Amanda prepared our defense, but it was weak. We had my bank records showing the mortgage payments. But Tyler's counter-argument was ready. I'd paid to control them. I'd been manipulating them for years, using money as leverage. We need your parents to testify, Amanda said. We need them to say Tyler coerced them. They won't, I repeated. Then we're in trouble. 1 week until court. I made a decision. A desperate one. I drove back to my hometown. Waited outside the grocery store, where I knew my mother shopped every Thursday morning. I'd break the cease and desist order. I'd risk arrest. I had to try one more time. My mother came out of the grocery store at 9:30, same as she'd done every Thursday for 20 years. She carried 2 cloth bags, always refused plastic, always bought the same things. I knew her routine like I knew my own breathing. She saw me and froze. Mom, please, I said, stepping forward. Just 5 minutes. She tried to walk past me. I blocked her path, gently, not aggressive, but firm enough that she had to stop. I'll call your father, she said, but her voice wavered. Look at these. I pulled up my phone, showed her the real bank statements. Every mortgage payment, clearly labeled, clearly from my account to the bank. Tyler lied. I've been paying your mortgage for 4 years, every single month, $1,700. She looked at the screen. I watched her eyes move over the numbers. For just a moment, I saw doubt cross her face. These could be fake, she said. But she didn't sound convinced. Call the bank yourself. Right now. Verify it. The number's right there. Her hands shook slightly. She looked older than I remembered, tired in a way that went beyond physical exhaustion. When did Tyler first tell you about the embezzlement? I asked. About 6 weeks ago. Her voice was quiet. He seemed so upset. He said he'd discovered it by accident, that you'd been hiding it. Did you verify it? Did you call the bank yourself? She hesitated. Your father handled it. Tyler showed us the statements. Did you ever wonder why I would help you for 4 years just to steal from you? Does that make sense, Mom? Her eyes filled with tears. I don't know what to think anymore. Think about who I've always been. Think about who Tyler's always been. Which one of us has lied to you before? But before she could answer, Tyler appeared. He'd been following her. Of course he had. He'd planned for this, anticipated that I might try to reach her. He rushed over, phone already out and recording. She's harassing you, Mom. I told you she'd do this. People in the parking lot turned to look. Tyler raised his voice. This is the person who stole from my elderly parents. She's violating a restraining order. There was no restraining order yet. The request was pending, but Tyler was counting on people not knowing that. Several shoppers pulled out their phones, recording now too. Tyler, I'm trying to talk to our mother, I said, keeping my voice calm. You're stalking her. This is harassment. He put his arm around Mom. It's okay, Mom. I'm here. Let's go home. My mother looked between us, confusion and fear on her face. Let's go, Tyler. I don't feel well. Mom, please, I said, but she was already walking away. Tyler shot me a smile over his shoulder. Triumphant, secure in his victory. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. Someone had called the police. 2 officers arrived. One was young, maybe 25, the other older with gray at his temples. Tyler spoke first, showed them the pending restraining order request, explained that I was harassing his elderly mother. The older officer turned to me. Ma'am, what's your side of this? I explained. Family dispute, false accusations, trying to reach my mother to show her proof. He listened, took notes. Do you have documentation of the restraining order request? Tyler pulled it up on his phone. The officer looked at me with something like sympathy. Ma'am, I suggest you stay away from this family until the court hearing. If you approach them again, you could be arrested. She's lying about everything, Tyler added. She's dangerous. I'll note that in my report, the officer said. Sir, I need you to calm down. Ma'am, do you understand what I've said? Yes, I managed. They gave me a formal warning. A record now existed of me harassing my family. Tyler had gotten exactly what he wanted. I drove back to Boston, hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Court date in 5 days. No winning strategy? No hope. That night, I sat in my ruined condo and cried for the first time since this started. Not quiet tears. Ugly, gasping sobs that came from somewhere deep and broken inside me. I cried for the family I'd lost, for the trust that had been shattered, for the father who'd looked at me with disgust, for the mother who couldn't see through her own son's lies. Amanda called. We need to talk about settlement. No. Lauren, listen to me. You're going to lose. The police report from today makes you look unstable. Tyler has character witnesses. He has forged documents that look real. Your parents signed the deed transfer willingly, even if they were manipulated. Without their cooperation, we can't prove coercion. Settlement means dropping all claims, walking away, but Tyler also drops his lawsuit. You move on with your life. That means admitting I did something wrong. No, it means choosing your battles. You're drowning. I'm throwing you a life raft. I thought about it. Really thought about it. Settlement meant Tyler kept the house, kept control of our parents, kept his lies intact. But I kept my freedom, my future, my ability to rebuild. I need to think about it, I said. You have until tomorrow. That's when I need to file our response. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my kitchen table, laptop open, going through everything again. Bank statements, emails, the timeline of Tyler's manipulation, the holes in his story. At 2 a.m, my phone rang. Gary, the investigator. I found something, he said. I sat up straighter. What? A woman named Stephanie. She was fired from a law firm 3 years ago for document fraud. Tyler's been in contact with her. I have phone records showing multiple calls over the past 4 months, and I found someone who saw them together at a coffee shop, discussing paperwork. Can you prove she helped him forge the documents? Not yet. But she disappeared 2 weeks ago. Stopped answering her phone. Social media went dark. That's suspicious. Can you find her? I'm trying. But Lauren, even if I do, getting her to talk is another matter. Keep looking, I said. Please, I'll pay whatever it costs. You're running out of money, Gary said, not unkindly. I know, but I need this. He promised to keep working. I hung up and stared at my laptop screen. Tomorrow, I had to decide. Settle or fight. The sun rose. I made coffee. I reviewed every piece of evidence we had, and I made my choice. I called Amanda. We fight. Are you sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay, she said. Then, let's go to war. Court day arrived with gray skies and a cold wind that cut through my coat. I dressed carefully that morning, professional but not too formal, wanting to look capable and honest. Amanda met me on the courthouse steps. Gary called, she said. He found Stephanie. He's with her now, getting a statement. Hope fluttered in my chest, fragile as paper. Will she testify? He's working on it. Inside, the courthouse smelled like floor polish and old paper. We sat in the hallway, waiting for our case to be called. Tyler arrived with our parents and their lawyer, a man in an expensive suit named Harold. Tyler wore a button-down shirt and khakis, clean-cut, presentable. He looked like the victim he claimed to be. My mother still wouldn't look at me. My father's jaw was set, determined. All rise. The Honorable Judge Patricia Martinez presiding. We filed into the courtroom. The judge was in her 50s, no-nonsense expression, glasses perched on her nose. She reviewed the documents before her, then looked up. This is a civil matter regarding alleged financial elder abuse and a property dispute. I've reviewed the filings. Mr. Reynolds, you're representing the plaintiffs? Harold stood. Yes, Your Honor. And Miss Patterson for the defendant? Amanda stood. Yes, Your Honor. Let's proceed. Harold went first. He painted a picture of devoted parents, a wayward daughter, years of manipulation and control. He presented the forged bank statements as evidence, the deed transfer as proof of correction. He called Tyler to the stand. Tyler was good. He played the part perfectly. Concerned son, reluctant to come forward, only wanting to protect his parents. When did you discover your sister's embezzlement? Harold asked. About 2 months ago. I was helping my parents organize their finances and noticed irregularities. What did you do? I investigated. I pulled bank statements, reviewed transactions. The evidence was clear. She'd been stealing for years. How did your parents react? They were devastated, but they agreed something had to be done. Amanda cross-examined, but Tyler had answers for everything. He was calm, sympathetic, believable. Then Harold called our father to the stand. Mr. Hayes, can you tell the court about your daughter's behavior over the past 4 years? My father cleared his throat. She helped us with the mortgage. We were grateful. But Tyler showed us she was using that to control us. Taking money for herself. Did she ever threaten you? She said we'd lose the house without her. That felt like a threat. It wasn't a threat, it was reality. But in Harold's framing, everything I'd done looked sinister. Then Amanda stood. She played the recorded call I'd made to the bank on Thanksgiving, the one where I froze the account. She submitted my bank records showing 4 years of consistent payments. Miss Hayes has paid over $80,000 to keep her parents in their home, Amanda said. Does that sound like someone who's stealing? She called me to the stand. I told my side. Every detail. The refinancing, the bankruptcy, Tyler's unemployment, my suspicion about the forged documents. Then Harold presented his surprise evidence. Your Honor, I have a recording that contradicts the defendant's claims of innocence. He played audio from the grocery store confrontation, my voice saying something that, without context, sounded threatening. You'll regret this. I hadn't said that. Or maybe I had, in anger, but not the way it sounded now. I also have a witness statement from a neighbor, Mrs. Gloria Henderson, claiming she witnessed the defendant verbally abusing her parents during a visit 2 years ago. I'd never met a Gloria Henderson. This was fabricated. The judge looked at me with something less than sympathy. Miss Hayes, this is concerning. Your Honor, I never said those things to my parents. That recording is taken out of context, and I don't know who Gloria Henderson is, but the damage was done. Tyler had prepared for this. He'd anticipated we'd find evidence, and had his own ready to counter it. Then Amanda played her card. Your Honor, I'd like to submit new evidence. A sworn affidavit from a woman named Stephanie Morris. Harold objected. This is the first we're hearing of this. We obtained it this morning, Amanda said. Judge Martinez considered. I'll allow it. Proceed. Amanda played a video on her laptop, projected onto the courtroom screen. Stephanie's face appeared, nervous but clear. My name is Stephanie Morris. 3 months ago, Tyler Hayes hired me to create false bank statements and forge documents related to his parents' property. He paid me $3,000. I used Photoshop to alter legitimate statements, making it appear his sister had been withdrawing money. I also helped him create paperwork to transfer the house deed. I'm coming forward because what I did was wrong, and I have proof. The courtroom went silent. Stephanie showed original files, Photoshop layers, metadata showing creation dates. She showed text messages from Tyler with instructions on what to forge. Tyler's face went white. Harold looked shocked. Your Honor, Amanda continued, I'd also like to call Rachel Morrison to the stand. A woman in her 30s stood from the gallery. She approached the witness stand, was sworn in. Miss Morrison, do you know Tyler Hayes? Yes. We dated for 4 months last year. Can you describe your experience with him? Rachel told her story. The false business opportunity. The $12,000 she'd given him. The texts where he admitted to manipulating documents and people. He's a con artist, Rachel said. He has a pattern of this. Lauren Hayes is just his most ambitious target. Harold tried to object, to discredit Rachel, but the evidence was overwhelming. Bank records showing Tyler's payment to Stephanie. Text messages. The forged document files with creation dates weeks before Tyler claimed to have discovered the embezzlement. Tyler finally cracked. That's not, he started, then stopped. She paid them. Lauren paid them to lie. This is all fake, Mr. Hayes, the judge said sharply. You're not under oath right now. but I suggest you be very careful with your next words. Amanda produced more evidence. Bank records showing Tyler's $3,000 payment to Stephanie, dated 2 months ago. No corresponding payment from me to anyone. Tyler's lawyer looked at his client with something like disgust. I need a moment with my client, Your Honor. Judge Martinez called a recess. In the hallway, I watched Harold have an intense, whispered conversation with Tyler. Our parents stood apart. My mother crying. My father looking lost. My mother approached me. I'm so sorry. Her makeup was running. She looked small and old and broken. I didn't know, she continued. We didn't know. He was so convincing. My father joined her. We were fools. He played on our fears. We're getting old. We needed help. And he made it seem like you were the threat. I wanted to be angry. Part of me was. But mostly, I was tired. We'll talk after this is over, I said. I need to know you really understand what you did. Court reconvened. Judge Martinez had reviewed all the evidence during the recess. I've seen enough, she said. This case is dismissed with prejudice. The house deed is to be returned to its original status, with Mr. and Mrs. Hayes as primary owners and Miss Lauren Hayes removed as requested. Tyler Hayes is to be removed from all financial accounts. I'm ordering Mr. Tyler Hayes to pay Miss Hayes's legal fees in the amount of $18,000. She paused, looked at Tyler with clear distaste. Furthermore, I'm issuing a restraining order. Tyler Hayes is not to contact his parents or his sister for a period of 2 years, and I'm referring this case to the district attorney for investigation of fraud and forgery. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Hayes out. Tyler exploded. This is wrong. You're all believing her lies. She's manipulating everyone. 2 bailiffs grabbed his arms. He struggled, screaming threats. You'll regret this, Lauren. I'll make you pay. This isn't over. They dragged him out, his voice echoing through the courthouse. My father looked horrified at what his son had become. My mother sobbed into her hands. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited. Someone had leaked the story to the local newspaper. Small town. Big drama. Tyler's viral video had already made him recognizable, and the revelation that he'd been the con artist all along was juicy news. Miss Hayes, how do you feel about the ruling? I didn't answer. I just wanted to go home. My phone buzzed. Jerome, my boss. I saw the news. We need you back, Henderson called. He wants to reinstate the account. It was good news. It should have felt like victory. But I felt empty. Hollow. Like I'd won the battle but lost something I couldn't name. My parents offered to drive me somewhere, to talk, to try to fix things. I told them I needed time. They understood, or at least they said they did. I drove back to Boston that night. My condo still needed repairs. Patricia Walsh's lawsuit was still pending, though I hoped my insurance company would reconsider now that the fraud was proven. My savings were depleted, my reputation damaged, though recovering, and Tyler was still out there, somewhere, angry and vengeful. 3 days after the court ruling, I found my car in the hotel parking lot with all 4 tires slashed. Liar was scratched across the hood in deep gouges that went through the paint to the metal. The hotel security footage showed nothing useful. Whoever did it knew where the cameras were, stayed in blind spots. The police filed a report, but were honest about the chances of catching anyone. Without evidence, there's not much we can do, the officer said. Could be random vandalism. It wasn't random. Tyler had a restraining order. He was supposed to stay away. But this was his message. You won. But I'm still here. The tires alone cost $800 to replace. The paint repair would be another $2,000. My insurance deductible was $1,500. More money gone. But my parents called that night. Come to dinner, my father said. Please. We need to talk. I drove to their house in a rental car, my own still at the body shop. The same driveway, the same front door, but everything felt different now. Changed. Broken. My mother had cooked pot roast, my favorite when I was little. The smell filled the house, familiar and painful. We sat at the kitchen table. The same table where we'd eaten 1,000 meals as a family. I don't know where to start, my father said. Start with the truth, I replied. Tell me how Tyler convinced you. So they did. The whole story poured out. Tyler had moved home 8 months ago. claiming he'd lost his job due to company downsizing. He'd been helpful at first, mowing the lawn, fixing things, running errands. They'd been grateful. Then he'd started talking about finances. Casually at first, mentioning how it must be hard to have me covering the mortgage, asking if I ever made them feel bad about it. Planting seeds. He said you'd mentioned putting us in a home, my mother said, that you'd told him we were becoming too much of a burden. I'd never said anything close to that. He showed us the fake bank statements gradually, my father continued. Not all at once. First just a few questionable transactions, then more, then the big withdrawals. By the time he brought the lawyer, we were convinced you were stealing. We were scared, my mother added. Scared of losing the house, of being dependent, of getting old. Tyler made it seem like you were taking advantage of that fear. Why didn't you ask me? I said. Why didn't you just call and ask me directly? My father looked ashamed. Tyler said you'd lie, that you'd been lying for years, and we believed him because it was easier than believing our son was lying to us. There it was, the truth at the heart of everything. They'd chosen to believe Tyler because accepting that he was a con artist was more painful than believing I was a thief. I forgive you, I heard myself say. The words surprised me, but they were true. But I don't trust you. Not yet. That will take time. We understand, my mother said. We'll do whatever it takes. We ate dinner. The pot roast was good, perfectly seasoned, cooked until the meat fell apart. We didn't talk about Tyler. We talked about smaller things. My job, their garden, the neighbors. Rebuilding something from the rubble. My mother showed me my old bedroom later. Tyler's things were gone, thrown in boxes in the garage. The room looked empty without my childhood furniture, most of which I'd taken to college and eventually to Boston. We want you to have your room back, she said. If you ever want it. I looked at the empty space. I don't live here anymore, Mom. I haven't in years. I know. But you'll always have a place here if you need it. It was something. Not enough, not yet, but something. I drove back to Boston that night, my phone buzzing with messages. Jerome confirming I could return to work on Monday. Henderson's assistant scheduling a meeting to discuss reinstating the account. Amanda sending the final paperwork from the court case. The newspaper article about Tyler's fraud had gone viral, ironically. The same people who'd condemned me weeks ago were now praising my resilience. The comment section was full of apologies and support, but internet vindication felt hollow. What mattered was the real people in my life, the ones who'd stuck by me or abandoned me or been manipulated into betraying me. 3 weeks passed. I returned to work, tentatively at first, then with growing confidence. The Henderson account came back. Other clients who'd left came back too, sheepish and apologetic. My reputation slowly rebuilt itself. Patricia Walsh dropped her lawsuit after my insurance company finally admitted the premium payment had been processed, just delayed in their system. They paid for her repairs and mine. The water damage was fixed. My condo looked normal again, like the disaster had never happened. Tyler pleaded guilty to fraud charges in a deal with the district attorney. 2 years probation, restitution, community service. He was living in another state now, North Carolina somewhere, cut off from everyone. The restraining order meant he couldn't contact any of us. He still owed me $18,000 in legal fees, paying in installments of $250 a month. It would take him 6 years to pay it off. Each payment that hit my account felt like a small victory. My parents and I talked weekly. Video calls mostly, sometimes visits. The relationship was different now. More cautious. Less assumed. They'd started seeing a therapist, trying to work through the guilt and shame of what had happened. My father joined a support group for people who'd been financially exploited by family members. It turned out he wasn't alone. Dozens of parents had similar stories. Children who manipulated, stole, destroyed trust. I'm learning a lot, he told me during one call. About boundaries. About enabling. About how love can blind you to the truth. My mother sent me cards, real cards with handwritten notes, apologies. Gratitude. Promises to do better. I kept them in a drawer, reading them when I needed reminding that people could change, but I also kept my distance. I visited once a month, never stayed the night, always kept an exit ready. Trust was rebuilt slowly, carefully. like reconstructing a house brick by brick after a fire. One Saturday in February, 3 months after the courthouse, my grandmother called. "I need to see you," she said. Her voice was strong despite her 87 years. "Can you come visit?" I drove to her house the next day, a small ranch-style home 2 towns over from my parents'. She answered the door, wearing her usual cardigan, hair perfectly white, eyes sharp as ever. "Come in, dear. I made tea." We sat in her living room, surrounded by photos of family. Pictures of me as a child, Tyler as a baby, my parents young and happy. A history of a family that had almost destroyed itself. "I never believed him," she said without preamble. "Tyler, I never believed a word he said." I looked at her in surprise. "You didn't? I've known that boy his whole life. I know what he is. Charming. Manipulative. Selfish. He gets it from my late husband's side of the family." She smiled slightly. "I loved my husband, but his brother was a con man too. It runs in the blood sometimes. Why didn't you say anything?" "Your parents wouldn't have listened. Tyler had them so turned around they couldn't see straight. I tried once, early on. Your father told me I was being cruel, so I took a different approach." She stood, walked to a desk, pulled out a folder. "I hired the investigator," she said. "Gary. Paid him for the first month, sent him to you anonymously. I knew you'd need help. And I knew you wouldn't ask for it." I stared at her. "You did that?" "Someone had to. Family isn't just blood. It's who shows up when things are hard. You showed up for your parents for 4 years, even when they didn't appreciate it. You deserved someone showing up for you." She handed me an envelope. Inside was a check for $50,000. "Grandma, I can't take this." "Yes, you can. It's your inheritance anyway. I'm just giving it to you early. Use it to rebuild, to feel secure again, to know that someone in this family sees you for who you really are." I cried then. Not sad tears, but something else. Relief. Gratitude. Love. She hugged me. This tiny woman who'd outlived her husband by 20 years, raised 2 children, survived the Depression and World War II and countless personal tragedies. "You're the strong one," she said. "You always have been. Don't let this break you." "It almost did," I admitted. "But it didn't. That's what matters." I stayed for hours. We talked about everything. Her life, my life, the family, the future. When I left, I felt lighter than I had in months. 4 months after the courthouse, on a cold February evening, my doorbell rang unexpectedly. I wasn't expecting anyone. Through the peephole, I saw Tyler. He looked terrible. Thin, gaunt, circles under his eyes like bruises. His clothes hung loose, his hair greasy and unkempt. This wasn't the confident con artist from Thanksgiving. This was someone who'd lost everything. I opened the door but kept the chain lock engaged. "I know I'm not supposed to be here," he said. His voice was hoarse. "But I need help. You're violating the restraining order." "I know. I don't care. I'm desperate." He looked at me with something like pleading. "I'm broke. The restitution payments are crushing me. I lost my apartment. I've been sleeping in my car. Please, Lauren, I'm family." I studied him through the gap in the door. Part of me felt pity. He was my brother. We'd grown up together, shared a childhood, fought over toys and bathroom time, and whose turn it was to pick the movie. But that person was gone, if he'd ever really existed. "You made your choices," I said. "I know, and I'm sorry. Really sorry. I messed up. I was stupid and desperate, and I hurt everyone. But I'm paying for it. Isn't that enough?" "No," I said. "Sorry isn't enough. You tried to destroy my life. You manipulated our parents. You committed fraud. You turned the entire family against me. You made me doubt myself, my worth, everything I'd done. And you did it all with a smile on your face." "I was wrong," he said. "I know that now. But I'm your brother. Doesn't that count for something?" "It used to. You destroyed that." He tried a different approach. "I'll do anything. I'll testify about what I did, tell everyone the truth publicly. I'll work to make it up to you. Just please help me. I have nowhere else to go." "You have parents," I said. "They won't take me back. Dad won't even answer my calls." Good, I thought. They'd finally learned. You should have thought about that before, I said. Before you tried to steal their house. Before you ruined the family. Before you chose greed over decency. So that's it? You're just going to let me suffer? No, Tyler. I'm going to let you experience the consequences of your own actions. There's a difference. His expression changed. The pleading fell away, replaced by anger. You always were self-righteous. Always the perfect daughter. The one who did everything right. You couldn't stand that I might actually be someone they loved more than you. This isn't about love, I said. This never was. This was about you feeling entitled to something you didn't earn and being willing to destroy anyone in your way to get it. You're going to regret this, he said. But the threat sounded hollow now. He had no power left. Leave, Tyler. Now. Or I call the police for violating the restraining order and you'll add jail time to your probation. He left. I watched him walk to a beat-up Honda parked on the street, drive away. Then I called the police anyway, reported the violation. They said they'd follow up. I also called my parents, told them what happened. My father sighed heavily. He called me too, he said. Last week. I told him we couldn't help him. How did that feel? I asked. Terrible. And necessary. We enabled him his whole life. Made excuses. Let him get away with things because he was charming, or because we felt guilty. Or because it was easier than holding him accountable. We helped create the person he became. It was the most self-aware thing I'd ever heard my father say. Thank you for telling me, I said. He's going to have to figure out his own life, my father continued. We can't save him. And trying would just hurt everyone again. We talked for a while longer, then said goodbye. I sat on my couch, looking at my repaired condo. My life slowly returning to normal, and felt something shift inside me. The anger was fading. Not gone. Maybe never completely gone. But less sharp. Less consuming. Tyler had tried to destroy me and failed. That was its own kind of victory. Work was going well. The Henderson account was thriving. I'd picked up 3 new clients, all referred by people who'd heard about what happened and respected how I'd handled it. My boss had given me a raise and a formal apology. My finances had stabilized, especially with my grandmother's gift. The condo was paid off. My savings were rebuilding. I could breathe again. My relationship with my parents was still cautious, still healing, but genuine. We were planning Thanksgiving together for next year. A proper one. Just us 3 and my grandmother. No Tyler. No drama. Just family, whatever that meant now. I'd learned things, hard things. That family can hurt you deeper than anyone. That manipulation thrives on fear and shame. That standing up for yourself costs something, but not standing up costs more. That the truth eventually comes out, even when it seems impossible. I'd also learned that I was stronger than I thought. That I could lose everything and still rebuild. That victory doesn't always look like victory. And sometimes survival is the win. 2 weeks after Tyler's visit, my grandmother passed away. Peacefully, in her sleep, the way everyone hopes to go. We held a small funeral. My parents and I stood together. My mother leaning on my father, me standing slightly apart but present. Tyler didn't come. The restraining order meant he couldn't, but I don't think he would have anyway. He'd sent a brief email. Sorry for your loss. Nothing else. After the service, as we were cleaning out her house, I found a letter she'd written to me, dated the week before she died. Dear Lauren, it read, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Don't be sad. 87 years is a good run. I want you to know I'm proud of you. Not just for what you accomplished, but for who you are. You faced an impossible situation, and you didn't break. You didn't become bitter or cruel. You fought for the truth and for yourself. That takes courage most people don't have. Your parents made mistakes. Big ones. But they love you. Give them time. Let them earn back your trust. And remember this. Family isn't just who you're born to. It's who shows up. Who fights for you. Who sees you. You've always been the one who showed up, Lauren. Thank you for that. I love you. Be happy. Live well. That's the best revenge. Love, Grandma. I cried reading it. Happy tears and sad tears mixed together. She'd seen me. Really seen me. That mattered more than anything. Now, 6 months after Thanksgiving, I sit in my Boston condo on a Saturday morning, coffee steaming, sun streaming through clean windows. My phone buzzes with a text from my mom, a photo of my dad in the garden, planting tomatoes, smiling. He says to tell you hello, she writes, and that there will be fresh tomatoes when you visit next month. I smile and text back a heart emoji. Life isn't perfect. The scars are still there, probably always will be. Trust is fragile. Relationships damaged in the way mine were don't heal overnight. But we're trying. That counts for something. Tyler is somewhere in North Carolina, living whatever life he's built. I don't think about him much anymore. Occasionally I'll see the $250 payment hit my account and feel a momentary satisfaction, but mostly he's just a reminder of what I survived. I came home for Thanksgiving and my father said he didn't have a daughter. He was wrong. He always had one. He just forgot to see her. Now, finally, he does. And that's enough. For now, that's enough. I learned that standing up for yourself is worth the cost. That the truth matters, even when it's painful. That family is complicated and messy and sometimes broken, but it can also heal if everyone is willing to do the work. Most importantly, I learned that I'm stronger than I ever knew. That I can face betrayal and manipulation and loss and still come out the other side standing. That's not nothing. That's everything. So here's what I want to ask you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone you trusted betrayed you? How did you handle it? Did you fight back or walk away? I'd love to hear your stories in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these stories and know they're not alone in their struggles. Subscribe if you want to hear more true stories about real people facing real challenges. And share this with someone who might need to hear it. Someone who's going through their own family drama or feeling like they're alone in their fight. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being here. I hope whatever challenges you're facing, you remember that you're stronger than you think. That the truth matters. That standing up for yourself is always worth it, even when it's hard. Be kind to yourself. Take care of each other. And remember, family is who shows up when things fall apart. Until next time.